Hey everybody, Books Nelson here, and I wanted to give you guys a quick Jayson Tatum tutorial. There's a misconception that he's just a catch and shoot 3-and-D guy and not a handler, and that is very far from the case. The thing about Tatum is he's a very specific card that you have to use him, and it's actually one of the things I like about my team. Certain cards demand special treatment. It's not like my career where you just put the meta SIGs on and you play the same way. You can't do that with Jayson Tatum. But if you do invest time into the card, he is absolutely fantastic in virtually every way. You just have to play around his weaknesses, which you can very much do because he has just enough tools to allow you to cook. We're going to get right to it. So number one, his moving behind the back. So if you watch a guy named Laker Fan, who's one of the best players in the My Career community, he builds his whole bag around that moving behind the back, and that's going to be a staple in your slashing game. And we'll get to that. We'll get more into that later. Number two, this standing dribble sig behind the back, right? So this is just your dribble style, holding right trigger and moving from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock on the stick. Now be careful because when you go to these angles, you have to change to, so this like 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, right? And I'm sorry, did I say 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock? This is 7 and 5 o'clock, 7 and 5. And then over here, it should also be 12 and 6 respectively. But you got to watch it. I would actually say 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock is more safe on this side, right? 1 or 2 o'clock. So that's how you get that. Now the thing about that is it's a very quick move out of anything, right? So let's say I do a size up. I can do a size up into that move, right? Anything you do, a hezzy into that move, like the hezzy, and you can explode right out of that move. So that's super important. So, and the same thing with like momentum dribbles and stuff like that. You know, you gotta make sure you always hit that direction, but you can momentum, you know, snatch back, size up, and whatever you do, you're gonna burst out with your ball, you know, your dribble style explosions from that. So now here comes the other tool. It's very important for Jayson Tatum, and that's his step back moves, right? So his step back shot specifically. So that's me pressing down on the right stick while holding turbo. Jayson Tatum has some pretty questionable leaners, right? So this is his leaner. Very bad. Going to the left. And going to the right, this looks terrible. I'll give you guys a quick use case for this though. So imagine a screen is being set to his right side. You take that and you do that. He actually moves in front of the screen. So it's actually a really great shot if you're out here in limitless range and you can move into your shot there. So going to the right, it's useful. It's just not useful in the way that leaners are usually useful. He doesn't have a leaner that creates space and does all that other stuff. Now, what happens when you're in the situation where you are creating space? So number one, you can go to his step back game, right? So remember, down or right on the stick will give you different step back animations, and use the one that gives you the most space for the situation that you're in, right? And depending on the angle that you're running at. That's a beautiful step back animation. So just use that instead of where you would use a leaner, use that instead. But what if they're playing it, right? Well, this is a beautiful thing about Tatum. If you just do down on the stick, he does that hop, right? You have a lot of options out of that hop. So down on the stick, well, hold on, let's get it right first. Down on the stick, you can go back in the other direction with that behind the back that we talked about with the dribble style. Down on the stick, tap right, go the same direction, right? And now when you tap right, you want to get it so that you get, there you go. See the cancel, he didn't do the pause. So that's the hezzy cancel. So it's, you know, holding turbo, down right, holding turbo to the right hand, to the ball hand, and you know, whatever hand the ball is in, and then you can explode out of it. But then also tap down and shoot. Right? And then the same thing going to the right, but then you behind the back. So this very simple little rule set fundamentals for Jayson Tatum will allow you to use the card as more than just a catch and shoot player. You can definitely cope with him. And keeping in mind, he has tons of other stuff that like is just inherent in the card. Like, you know, his very good regular hop back, very good regular hop back. And then, you know, all the momentum stuff is there that you can use either way, but just build it around the stuff that we talked about in the beginning. You know, get that moving behind the back going, get a handle of his step backs and his leaners, use that hop back to your advantage, and Jayson Tatum will be an elite slasher and shot creator at the very best level, because he has truthfully one of the best jump shots in the whole game. Just like a fantastic, outrageous jump shot that's well, I like to call it true limitless, right? Like some people have the limitless badge and they have a high rating, but you come out here and shoot and it gets way more difficult. He is in that group of cards like Kobe, Devin Booker, Michael Beasley, where they shoot from here and it feels almost the same as shooting from here. As long as you get your timing right, you can hit from here very easily. So you mix that in with the tools that I gave you, in addition to his regular SIGs, and you should be able to definitely cook with this card at a very high level. All right, thanks guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.